Good morning, students. Have you finished your prayer? Yes, thank you. நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book. Come to page number 131. We will move to the next topic, the northern mountains. In the previous class, we saw about India's location, its neighboring countries, then why it was called as subcontinent. So India was subcontinent because she possesses the characters of a continent. So India possesses a character that a continent have. So that's why India with its neighboring countries was called as subcontinent. Then we saw about Indian Standard Time. So how was Indian Standard Time calculated? Then also we saw about the major physical divisions of India. So India is divided into 6 physical types. Okay, ma? So in today's class we will see about the first type, the northern mountains or the Himalayas. The northern mountains. The northern mountains consist of the youngest and the loftiest mountain chains in the world. So youngest means, why it was called as youngest means, because it was formed just a few million years ago. So Earth was formed around 400 crores years ago. That is approximately 4.54 billion years ago Earth was formed. But the northern mountains were formed just a few million years ago. Then loftiest means, so highest mountain chain. So there are several mountain ranges in the world, Andes, Alps, etc. So among them, the northern mountains are the highest mountain chain in the world. Then already I told it was formed only few million years ago. That's why it was called as youngest. And they were formed by the folding of the earth crust due to tectonic activity. So that means, so there are several plates in the earth layer. So the earth crust consists of many plates like Eurasian plate, Indo-Australian plate, North America, South American plate, African plate, Pacific plate, etc. So these plates move in regular direction. So the Himalayas were formed, that is the northern mountains were formed by the movement of these plates only, that is due to the tectonic activity. Then it stretches for a distance of 2500 km from the Indus Gorge in the west to Brahmaputra Gorge in the east. So Indus River, so you can find Indus River in Kashmir region and Brahmaputra in the eastern part, that is in Arunachal Pradesh region. Okay, so gorge means, so a river valley or a water body run between two rock surface or two mountains region as shown in the picture. A gorge is a water value or a river value that run between two mountain region or two rock surface. Then the width of the northern mountains varies from 500 km in Kashmir to 200 km in Arunachal Pradesh. That is, the northern mountains are wider in Kashmir region and shorter in width in Arunachal Pradesh. Then the Pamir Nat, so just lies above the Kashmir, that is north of India. So popularly known as the roof of the world. So the Pamir Nat was called as roof of the world. Is the connecting link between the Himalayas and the higher ranges of Central Asia. So Pamir Nat so connects India through Himalayas with Central Asia. Then from the Pamir, the Himalayas extend eastward in the form of an arc shape. So if you see the shape of the Himalayas, it is look like an arc shape. Then the term Himalaya is derived from the Sanskrit. So it means abode of snow. So Hima means snow. Then Alaya means abode. So abode means a staying place. So Himalaya means the abode of snow. That is the snow staying place. Since it was covered by snow, it was called as abode of snow. Then the northern mountains that functions as a great wall. So it acts as a great wall to Indian subcontinent. Is grouped into 3 divisions. So first one is the Trans Himalayas, second one is Himalayas, third one is Eastern Himalayas or Purvanchal Hills. The Trans-Himalayas. It lies to the north of the Great Himalayan Range. That is, it lies in the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh and in the Tibetan Plateau. Okay, ma? As its aerial extent is more in Tibet, it is found in the east of Jammu and Kashmir. That is in China. So Tibet is a part of China. So the Trans-Himalayas extend from Jammu and Kashmir to Tibet, and it's most of the part. So most of this aerial extent is seen in Tibet. That's why the Trans-Himalayas was also called as Tibetan Himalayas. Then the Trans-Himalayas are about 40 km wide in its east and west end. At east and west end, the Trans-Himalayas was 40 km wide, and in the center region it was 225 km wide. Then they contain the Tethys sediment. So Tethys, so it was a sea. Once upon a time, Tethys sea was there. So in that region only now Himalayas were formed. Contains the Tethys sediment. So sediment means so sand, stones, mud, or something carried by water or wind and left. So some settlements. Then the rock of this region contains fossils. So fossil means so the remaining of animals. So animals are any living creatures that were left and were converted into rocks. Okay, so the remaining of animals or any living creature that were left and were converted into rocks. Okay, so that fossils bearing marine sediments, that is the rocks contains the fossils with the marine sediments. That is, since it was once upon a time sea, you can find marine creatures, okay, that were covered by a tertiary granite, a type of rock. Then it has partly metamorphosed sediments. So metamorphosis means a type of rock. So the rocks which were converted into a new form because of physical and chemical changes. So the already formed rock, so which are supposed to physical and chemical change and change its shape, that were called as metamorphosis rocks. So the marine sediments were partially covered by metamorphosis rocks, and it constitutes the main of the Himalayan axis. Then you can find some important ranges. So ranges means so continuous hills or continuous mountains. That is, a chain of hills were called as ranges. So you can find Jaskar, Ladakh, Kailash and Karakoram range in the Trans-Himalayan region. The Himalayas. It constitutes the important, that is the main part of northern mountains, and it is the young fold mountain. You know how it was formed? It was formed by the movement of Eurasia land mass in the north and Gondwana land mass in the south. That means, so once upon a time, the earth consists of two land surface. So that was, one was the northern part was called as Eurasia and the southern part was called as Gondwana land. In between, the Tethys Sea was found. Okay, so during a period of over a period of time, the Gondwana land moved upwards and hit the Eurasia land. So the Tethys Sea now uplifted as a result of compression, and the resultant landform was the Himalayas. So the Gondwana landmass in the south moved upwards, that is towards Eurasia landmass, and thus the Tethys Sea found between these two landmasses was uplifted, and thus they formed the Himalayas. The Himalayas consist of many ranges. Then the Himalayas are subdivided into three categories. So they are the Greater Himalayas or Himadri, the Lesser Himalayas or Himachal, then the Outer Himalayas are the Sivaliks. The Greater Himalayas are the Himadri. So the Greater Himalayas rise suddenly, abruptly means suddenly, like a wall of the north of the Lesser Himalayas. That is, above Himachal or Lesser Himalayas, it rise suddenly like a wall. Then the Greater Himalayas are about 25 km wide. Then the width of the Greater Himalayas or the Himadri was 25 km. Then its average height is about 6,000 meter. So note down here, the average height of Himadri is 6,000 meter. Then the Greater Himalayas receives lesser rainfall as compared to Lesser Himalayas and the Sivaliks. The Greater Himalayas receive lesser rainfall as compared to the Lesser Himalayas and the Sivaliks, because the Himalayan region receive more rainfall during the southwest monsoon season. Since the southwest monsoon are further blocked by Shivaliks and then lesser Himalayas, the greater Himalayas receive lesser rainfall. Then physical weathering is less effective over the great Himalayas as compared to other ranges. So physical weathering, so that is due to pressure, sunlight. Okay, so it was not reaching the greater Himalayas that much. So they have lesser effect in this region. Then almost all the lofty peaks, that is highest peaks of Himalayas, are located in this region. Important the peaks are Mount Everest, so which is 8,848 meter, and Kanchenjunga 8,586 meter were found in the Greater Himalayas or Himadri region. So do you know which is the highest peak in the world? Yeah, Mount Everest. So it is situated in where? So where is Mount Everest located? Yeah, it is in Nepal, so not in India. So the world highest peak Mount Everest is located in Nepal. And Kanchenjunga, it is located between Nepal and Sikkim. So Sikkim, one of the state, so Himalayan state. So in Kanchenjunga, is located between Nepal and Sikkim. Then this range is the most continuous of all range. Then it consists of many ranges. Then it is a region of permanent snow cover, so you can find snow permanently. Then it has, since it has snow cover permanently, you can find many glaciers. So glaciers means, yeah, a large ice mass or a large ice cover. Yeah. So you can find Gangotri, Yamunotri, Siachen. Some glaciers like Gangotri, Yamunotri and Siachen. Okay. Then how was Mount Everest called in Nepal? Do you know? Yes, it was called as Sagarmatha. So Mount Everest was called as Sagarmatha in Nepal. The Lesser Himalayas are the middle ranges or Himachal. So the Lesser Himalayas lies next to the Greater Himalayas. The height of these ranges varies from 3,700 to 4,500 meter. So the height of the Lesser Himalayas, that is the Himachal range, was 3,700 to 4,500. Then its width varies up to 80 km. Then you can find some of the major rocks like slate, limestone and quartzite. Then this region is subjected to extensive erosion. That is, you can find erosion. So because of heavy rainfall, deforestation and urbanization. So because of heavy rainfall, deforestation and urbanization, so erosion was found here in large amount. Then Pir Panchal, Dauladar and Mahabharat are the mountain ranges found in this part. So the ranges found here are Pir Panchal, Dauladar and Mahabharat. Then here major hill stations are located. Yeah, so name some hill stations that you know. Yeah, Shimla, Darjeeling, Missouri, Nainital, Almora, Raniket. So are the familiar tourist spot. So are you familiar? So hill stations located here. So if you take Greater Himalayas, you can find, that is in Himadri, you can find so world highest peak like Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga, etc. In the same way, if you see Lesser Himalayas, that is in Himachal, you can find famous hill stations. Okay, va? The outer Himalayas are the Shivaliks. So the Shivaliks, so which was located just below the Lesser Himalayas, that is to the south of the Lesser Himalayas or the Himachal was the Shivaliks. So the Shivaliks extend from Jammu and Kashmir to Assam. Then it is partly made by the debris brought by the Himalayan rivers. So the Himalayan rivers, so which originate in the Himadri region, so deposit their debris. So in the Shivaliks, so partly deposit their debris in Shivalik region. Then the altitude varying between 900 to 1100 meters. So that is the height above sea level varies between 900 to 1100 meters. Then the average elevation of this range is 1000 meters. So the average height of this range is 1000 meters. So you can say when compare with the Greater Himalayas and Lesser Himalayas, here the average height is just 1000 meters. So if you take Greater Himalayas, that is Himatri's average height was what? Yeah, 6,000 meter. Then what was the average height of lesser Himalayas? Yeah, 3,700 to 4,500 meter. Then the width of Sibalik varies from 10 kilometer in the east to 50 kilometer in the west. Yeah, so that is in east it was very shorter in width, but if you come to western side it was very wide, that is 50 kilometer. It is the most discontinuous range. So why it was most discontinuous range means because the Himalayan rivers bisects this range at bisects this Shivaliks at many point. Okay, so that way it was not a continuous one, it is discontinuous range. Then the longitudinal values found between the Shivaliks and the lesser Himalayas are called the Dons in the west and the Dwars in the east. That is, between the Shivaliks and Himachal, you can find some valleys. So that is some water bodies like structure. Okay, so you can find some deep, shallow structure. So they were called as Dons. So some cities in this region were also end with the name Don. So example Dehradun. So have you heard about it? So Dehradun, that was located between Shivalik and the Himachal region only. Then these are the ideals for the development of settlements in this region. Since the dunes are so ideal for the settlement, since you can find many settlement, that is you can find so population somewhat high in this region. Purvanchal Hills. So these are the eastern offshoot of the Himalayas. That is, they are located in the northeastern states. So they are found in the northeastern states. Then most of the hills are located along the border of India and Myanmar. So Myanmar, so which was situated in east of India. So most of the Purvanchal hills were located on the border of India and Myanmar, and some are located inside India. So they are mostly found in the northeastern states. Okay, so what are the northeastern states? Can you name some northeastern states of India? Yeah, Manipur, Meghalaya, Tripura, then Assam, like that. Okay, Nagaland. So these are the northeastern states. So you can find so some of the Purvanchal hills in these states. So Dafla Hills, Abor Hills, Mishmi Hills, Patkai Bum Hills, Naga Hills, Manipur Hills, Mizo Hills, Tripura Hills, Mikir Hills, Garo Hills, Kasi Hills, and Jaintia Hills. So these are the hills. So they were collectively known as Purvanchal Hills. The Himalayas. It constitutes the important, that is the main part of northern mountains, and it is the young fold mountain. How it was formed? It was formed by the movement of Eurasia land mass in the north and Gondwana land mass in the south. That means, so once upon a time, the earth consists of two land surface. So that was one was the northern part was called as Eurasia and the southern part was called as Gondwana land. In between, the Tethys Sea was found. Okay, so during a period of over a period of time, the Gondwana land moved upwards and hit the Eurasia land. So the Tethys Sea now uplifted as a result of compression, and the resultant landform was the Himalayas. So the Gondwana landmass in the south moved upwards, that is towards Eurasia landmass, and thus the Tethys Sea found between these two landmasses was uplifted, and thus they formed the Himalayas. The Himalayas consist of many ranges. Then the Himalayas are subdivided into three categories. So they are the Greater Himalayas or Himadri, the Lesser Himalayas or Himachal, then the Outer Himalayas are the Shivaliks. Okay, students. So don't forget to do your homework. So in tomorrow's class, we will see about the Great Northern Plains. So if you have any doubt, contact me. Thank you. Be safe.